All right, welcome to this introductory video to LinguaMerse. I wanted to make this video to show you guys a little bit how LinguaMerse works, what we've been working on, how it is structured and so on. LinguaMerse has been live now for a few months, and there have been quite a few people who signed up, and we've received a lot of feedback, positive feedback, suggestions for improvement, and I will discuss all of that also later. But first, I wanted to show you how LinguaMerse works. So when you arrive here, the landing page, it explains we use the slogan "Immerse yourself in a new language." And further down here, it explains how LinguaMerse works, how it is structured, and so on. And on the main page here, we also have pricing. We have blog with not so many blog entries yet. I need to find more continuity in writing blog posts. FAQ and so on. So let's proceed to log in. You can sign up or log in using Google, Facebook, Apple, or your email. The first time when you arrive here, you'll have to accept the cookies. This is also a requirement based on various national and international laws. It may happen, it has happened to some people that they couldn't see the cookie consent bar, and unless you need to click on accept cookies in order to be allowed to log in, otherwise it doesn't work. If you cannot see the cookie consent bar, now I don't have it because I've logged in before, it could be blocked by your ad blocker. That was my case. I use this browser called Brave, which has a built-in ad blocker, and that's why I couldn't see the cookie consent bar. So if you cannot see it, turn off your ad blocker, accept the cookies, and then you'll be able to log in. Now I prefer to log in using Google. Okay. So once you've logged into LinguaMerse, you will land on the dashboard. The dashboard is divided into different sections to see what we've been doing and how much progress we've made. So we have different cards here. On this card here, we can see how much progress we've made with the courses in Learn. That's this tab here, Learn. Here we see how much progress and how much activity we've had with Practice, which is this tab here, Practice. And below here we see recently read. So those are the articles that we've recently read, and those are under the tab Read here. I'll explain all of that in a minute. Basically, LinguaMerse is structured in 3 different pillars. They are Learn, Read, and Practice. Learn is the section where you start learning the language, where you learn the basics of the language, where you build yourself a foundation in the language, where you understand how the language works, and where you learn the first few words. Read is then the next section, which is the section where you build upon this foundation that you've built yourself inside Learn by reading a lot of articles, and in that way learning vocabulary, learning a lot of words that you then use to increase your knowledge in the language. And practice, as the word says, is where you practice what you've learned, and we will see later how that works. Another card you see here on the dashboard is some overview of how many course chapters you've completed, how many articles you've read, how many words are uncertain to you, and how many are known to you. And we'll see soon what that actually means. Of course, you can also look at your profile. I think it's very basic stuff. You can change your name, update your profile picture, and here you can subscribe, and I'll show you in a moment why you would need that, what the point of that is, and so on. Now let's start with Learn. So in Learn we have a course that I've been creating called LinguaMerse. So there is, for now, there are 5 lessons, and each lesson has 5 chapters, 5 chapters and so on. And on the free version, the first 3 chapters are available. The others are locked and are available for premium users. What are these courses? What do these courses look like? They are similar to other courses that you may have seen in some apps. There are like words and sentences that you learn with some pictures, and there are also texts explaining things. So I try to always alternate a little bit between explanations and some sentences where I teach certain sentences and words and so on. So when we start here, we see some introductory text, and then we get to the first few words. So the first word we learn here is ich, which means I. So we always see the German word in bold and the English word in italics, and we can click here to listen to the word. Yeah. So we can listen to the word, and we can go next, and then we see here a longer sentence.
Ich trinke Milch.
Yeah, and the way the way that I've thought of structuring these courses is that I try to focus a lot on teaching entire sentences and not just single words. Why is that? Because that's how people speak. People speak with using whole sentences, and the way that words function is they function within a sentence. So that's why in my this is based on my experience of learning languages, that we should always learn entire sentences, and in that way we see because in that way we don't just learn the words, we learn the word order, we learn how thoughts are expressed, and we learn how words change based on how they are used within a sentence. And the way that I'm trying to teach sentences here is that I slowly build up a sentence. So on the previous page we saw the word ich, and then I slowly add words. Ich trinke Milch. So in every sentence there is one extra word, and you see how the sentence is structured, how the sentence is built. If we go to next, we learn das Gras ist grün. Now, why do we learn these words here in chapter 1? Why do we learn das Gras ist grün? It's perhaps not a sentence you would really say that often, but most courses that I've seen and most apps, they would start teaching you a language with greetings like hello, how are you? And I've talked about this in many other videos, that I don't find that a very useful way of starting to learn a language, because those are just random words and you don't really understand the structure of the language. Now here, das Gras ist grün is also rather random, but I teach this here because these words are very, very similar to English. I try in the first 10 chapters, 10 plus chapters, to use exclusively German words that have an equivalent word in English, that are not equivalent word, but that have a related word in English that has the same roots, the same linguistic roots, and is therefore very easy to learn. So das Gras ist grün, the grass is green, is very easy to remember. And I think that when you start learning a language, it is important to it will help a lot to learn these words that are very similar, because when you start out, the first like 100, 200 words, they are a little bit of a hurdle, because you go from knowing no words at all to knowing 200 words. And you need to get used to how the words are pronounced, what the words look like, what they sound like. And if the words are this similar, then these first few chapters will be much easier, and therefore it'll be a much smoother entry into the language. So yeah, if we continue here, you see the same here. I use these sentences like das Wetter ist gut, the weather is good. I could also have said schön, which means beautiful, but that's not similar to the English word beautiful, and that's why I chose here to focus specifically on these words. I'm planning to make every course for every language different. So here in the case of German, I focus on these words that are similar to English. When I create the courses for Spanish and French, they will be different. They will be structured in a different way based on what is it in French that is easy for an English speaker. And so let's start with those parts first. And then there are some sentences here that I put in every now and then where I explain certain things. I don't try to explain too much about the grammar, because we all know that grammar rules don't make much sense, especially when you start out. They are just, they don't make any sense because you don't know the language yet. So here I give mostly tips on how to learn. Try not to stress yourself too much. Focus on the pronunciation, and you'll get used to the language over time. Yeah, so this is how a chapter is structured. We can just flip through it now and get to the end of the chapter. And when you finish a chapter, then you can practice what you've read, what you learned in that chapter. For now, in this first version of LinguaMerse, we have two options to practice: match words and flashcards. The way they work is, match words is you have, as you see in this picture here, on the left you have the sentences in German, and on the right the sentences in English, and then you just have to pair them based on their translation. And flashcards are that you have a sentence in English or in German, or on the front of the flashcard, and then you need to know or guess or type what the word is in the other language, and then you flip it and check whether it was correct or not. So yeah, so we can maybe try to go through the flashcards. And when you say you want to practice flashcards, you can choose, do you want to show the answer, do you want to type the answer, or do you want to do both alternating? The way that works is we can maybe do both alternating, so you can see what they are like. And English on the back, or target language on the back, what that means is, do you want me to show the word in German and I need to know what it means in English? Then that would be English on the back. Or do you want me to show the word in English and I need to guess the word in German? That would be target language on the back. I personally prefer to always practice with target language on the back, because that is much more an active recall, where I need to remember what that word is in the target language. While if I'm shown something in the target language and I need to know what it means in English, personally I find that often much easier, and that I would find it more difficult than to memorize that expression. So let's try this. Let's do both alternating. Let's start the practice. Okay, so the first word that we see is a word where it shows the answer. So the way that works is I see the word in English, you, and I need to think of what that is in German. I don't type it anywhere, I just think about it. So I think it's du. Now let's check it, and it's du. And you kind of need to know for yourself whether you did it correctly or not. So it doesn't, obviously it doesn't know what you thought, and so you need to decide for yourself whether you did it correctly or not. If we click next, it's again one where we need to think of the answer. I drink, ich trinke. Let's check. I thought it right. I guessed it right. Okay. Okay, let's find one where we type. Here. This is one where we type the answer. The grass. That would be das Gras. So we type that. We click on check. And it's green, das Gras. We typed it correctly. If we had typed it wrong, let's try to type it wrong. Das Gras ist grün would be the right one. Let's type grüne. Check. And it's red because it's not correct. Now, I am planning in the next rollout of LinguaMerse, which I'll plan to work on now during 2025. I plan to improve the flashcards a lot. I plan to improve, for example, that now it would show you what is wrong and what is right. That das Gras ist is actually correct, and only grüne is the only wrong word. That's one example of something that I plan to improve. And also here I don't see, there should be two buttons to say whether this is correct or not, whether you guessed it correctly or not, and whether you want this to come back again. So those are some things that I plan to improve. Like I said, this is the first version of LinguaMerse. It's an MVP, a minimum viable product. And yeah, if you generally, I would like to take now this opportunity to also say, if you generally see things where you feel like this doesn't look right, this doesn't work well, this should be changed, let me know. Please let me know as much, be as critical as you want. That is all that I'm looking for now, because the app is new and I know that not everything is perfect. That wouldn't be possible. So please let me know about anything that you find that you think should be improved. Okay, so what have we covered now? We've looked at learn. So learn is the course chapter. We didn't finish all the practice now, but we finished chapter 1 of the courses. We've looked at practice. So you can practice the words, you can practice the words after every chapter that you've learned. But you can also go to practice at any time and just practice, words as you wish at any time. So yeah, so that's the practice part. And now let's look at read. So read is the middle one of these 3 pillars of learn, read, and practice. I need to go to all here. And what read is it's basically a big library. It's a big library, and we also see here at the top library. I've also been trying to be a bit more consistent with the words here. Maybe we should also call it read here. What this is basically a library of articles that you can read on topics that you find interesting and at the level that suits your current language level, in order to just accumulate a lot of words, in order to just read a lot and get a lot of input, in order to see the language, hear the language, memorize words. And yeah, you can, it's probably not clear right from the beginning how many articles there are. You see about 10 articles here, and then you can click on the next page. But there are in total now over 600 articles for German alone. I'm thinking we could maybe put a number here on the top that shows how many articles there are. So how do you find an article that you're interested in? That's something you can do here with the filter and the sort by. And this is one of the feedbacks that I've been receiving a lot, and something that I plan to improve now in 2025. Because people said, well, all the articles here are only level B2. What you can do is you go to the filter here, and then you can filter by level. So if you just started learning, you're still at level A1, you choose only A1, apply, and now we only have articles at a level A1. And then we see the category. So now all the articles here are in the category sports or health and fitness. So that's another thing we can filter. We go to category, and maybe we want to read articles about science and technology. So we choose that, apply, and now we have articles at the level A1 in the category science and technology. And here we see how long each article is. So for level A1, the articles are very short, only 56 words, around that. And we see also how many words in this article do we already know, and how many words are we uncertain of. And I will show you in a minute how that works. You can also view, so now you can see all the articles in a table form. You can also see them in cards form by clicking on the top right here. And you see every article like this. I've been trying to add an image to every article. Okay, I haven't done that yet here, but okay. And then, yeah, let's try to read an article. So I'll click on it, continue reading. And now you see that the words have different colors, are marked with different colors. So what do these colors mean? These colors basically mean whether this is a word that you've never seen before, or you've seen it, or you know it. So how does it work? If I click on the word Jahr, I click on it, and it tells me what this word means. It means year. So the translation is year. Now I can choose, do I know this word? If I'm sure that I know this word, I don't need to practice it again. I can select this word to be familiar. If I've seen it now, but I'm not sure if I will remember it next time, then I can categorize it as uncertain. So I can click here, and now it makes this word green. And now the app will remember that the word ja is uncertain to you. So any other article that you will read now, every time the word ja appears, it will mark it green, because this word is uncertain to you. Until you decide that you know this word, and then you can make it white. So project, probably not very difficult to remember. Project, so you know this word, you click on familiar, and it will get a white background, or the background will disappear. So that's one way that you can, that's how you can categorize these words. And you can also create a flashcard. Now, if I say that I know this word, I probably don't need to create a flashcard. But let's say this word here, it's uncertain to me and I want to create a flashcard. So I click add to flashcards and now it has created a flashcard out of this word, which I can then practice later. Let's try to create a few more flashcards. Gebraucht, also uncertain, add to flashcards. And if I have read this whole article now, I can also, listen to how it is, how the word is pronounced. Okay, and let's create a flashcard also out of this word. And let's finish reading this article. So now it says we have read 50 words. We have created 3 flashcards and I can rate this article based on how much I like it. Say 5 stars. And now I can say practice new words. So these new words, these 3 flashcards that I created, I can practice them. Now how do I practice? Is it show the answer or type the answer? It will retain the same settings that I had chosen last time. So in this case, now it will continue with the both alternating. This is also something that I'm planning to change, that you could now change the settings if you wanted to. But yeah, we're practicing these words that we just learned, completed, check, fertiggestellt, and now here, different from in the learn environment, here you can choose whether you think this word is still uncertain or familiar. If you keep it to uncertain, the word will keep coming back again and again. If you select that now this word is familiar to you, the flashcard will stop appearing. So let's keep it to uncertain, continue. Now the other word here, that uncertain, shortened. Now we have to type. I think it was verkürzt. Okay, typed it right through. Continue, and yeah, we've practiced those 3 flashcards. And now we land directly in the practice section where we can practice flashcards. So this is basically, if I go back here to practice and I enter the flashcards here. Here now I could choose a different type of practicing. If I want to type answer, continue. And here I can practice the flashcards of everything that I've done so far. So I have, in the courses, I have finished chapter 1. So I can practice the flashcards from chapter 1. And in the library, I have read these articles here. So I can practice these flashcards here. Just thinking now, if in the future somebody has read like 100 articles, what will that look like here? Yeah, that's something to keep in mind for future development. So I can see in each article which I read, which flashcards I have created. Now, yeah, in some cases I didn't create so many flashcards, also because I'm not really learning German, of course. Yeah. Now, this thing of categorizing words, why is it so important? Why is it so useful? If we go back to the library here, it is useful because it helps us. In this way, you tell the app which words you know, which words you are uncertain about. And in that way, before you read another article, like now I'm back in the library, I'm looking at articles that are a bit more difficult, B2. And it tells me in this article, there are 512 words, of which I know 121, which is 24%. Now that's not really a lot, and therefore the article will probably be rather difficult for me to read. And that is actually shown in this column here, which shows the difficulty. They are all set to high now. What this is, and sorry, this I button doesn't work yet. We need to change that. What this column shows is how easy or difficult this article is for you, specifically for you. And it it looks at the percentage of known words and the percentage of uncertain words inside an article, and will then say if this article is difficult, moderate, easy, and so on. When you just start out, then of course the app doesn't know yet exactly which words you know, so you need to read a lot and categorize all these words and tell the app which words you know, which ones you don't know yet, so that the app can build up this database of which words you know, and therefore recommend to you much better words that are suitable for your level. Now, what if you find this categorization a bit annoying? You don't have to do it if you find it annoying. So let's look at how we can do that. Let's open a longer article like this one here. Now, let's say that all these words, that you actually know pretty much all of these yellow words. So you want to make all these words known. Now, you don't have to click on every word and select familiar here. You can also make them bulk known, all these words. So let's say you only want to focus on those that you're not sure about. So as I'm reading this text, I feel that, oh, this word here, voneinander, that's the only word I don't know. So I look what it means from each other, and I click on uncertain and create a flashcard, and all the others I know. So the way I can do that is there's a settings button at the top right here. I click on settings, and here you can change some reading settings. It says automatic action when turning page. So what should the automatic action be when you turn the page with the unknown words? Right now it's set to no action, nothing happens. You can say that every unknown word and every yellow word turns into an uncertain word or turns into a familiar word. So let's check that. Let's select turns into a familiar word. Maybe we could update the colors here a bit. Find it not so easy to recognize which one is currently selected. That's a note to myself. Okay, we have checked that, and now when I turn page, so I go to the next page, and this is why I wanted to choose a longer text, because the first text we looked at only had one page. So now I went to the next page. What if I go back, and you see they've all become known words now. But watch out, because if you do this by accident, then now you would have to go back and like you cannot undo it, I think. So watch out that you don't do this by accident. And yeah, so that's one way that you can approach this. You can also say that all unknown words become uncertain words, which makes also sense, because that's if you say that only the words that you really know, like most words you don't know, but there are a few that you know. So let's say all of these words that I don't know, they should become uncertain because, well, I've just seen them now. So they should become uncertain, but this is one word that I actually know. So I make this word known, and the others, I don't know them, and I've seen them now, but I don't know them yet. So I go to next page, and now if I go back, I see they've all become uncertain. Just thinking now if that should not be a standard setting, because it doesn't make sense to go to the next page and the words remain unknown, because you have seen them, right? So yeah, that's just another note to myself. Yeah, as you see, there's like a lot of things a lot of small details that could still be implemented. Yeah, another thing, if you really don't want to work with these known and unknown words at all, if you find this not useful, you find this distracting, you can click on the I here. So this I turns off this function. So now you just see the text clearly. Make sure maybe that you have this here. Now turned off. Now you can still click on a word like Lehrbuch and you see what this word means, and you can still categorize it. If I categorize it as familiar now, the app will remember that I know this word. It will be recorded as familiar, but I don't see all these colors, and there might be people who find that distracting or don't care about that. Then you can do that. But if you don't categorize the words, then the library, which will recommend you articles based on your level, based on how many words you know, will of course make less good recommendations. Unless you choose here to make all unknown words automatically uncertain words. That is maybe one setting that you could use, and you occasionally click on a word and say this is a known word, or so on. Or you make that all unknown words become known words, and you just click on those that you don't know, and you just select uncertain, add to flashcards. Then you would still be telling the app which words you know and which ones you don't know. Yeah, so that's mainly it. That's the basic idea behind LinguaMerse. This is how LinguaMerse is structured. So learn, read, practice. Learn is the course where you get to know the language. You build yourself a foundation in the language. I introduce here concepts that in my experience are essential, are very important to learn early on. So here, as you look chapters 3, 4, 5, I teach how to say negative sentences with not, how to counter an argument with but, how to say this, but, that, how to use because, weil, this, because, how to say ich denke das, I think that. So I've structured this whole course to teach you these basic structures, how to express yourself with those structures, while focusing on using almost exclusively words that are very similar to English words, in order to make it as easy as possible to learn them. So that's learn. Then we have read, where you afterwards build yourself a lot of knowledge by just reading a lot. And practice is where you can practice the words. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any issues or so, you can click on Help Center. It's not yet a very sophisticated Help Center. There's just a link where you click and then you can send us an email. Yeah. If we go back to the dashboard, now we can see how many words we know, how many words are uncertain, how many course chapters we have completed, and so on. Now, what about becoming a language master? There's also this option here. Language master is basically the subscription. So as I already pointed out, some things are free, some things come with a subscription. Why do some things come with a subscription? Well, it's basically, developing this app has been a lot of effort and also costed money, and it also costs money to run this app. So of course I'm trying to get some of that back, and I also put a lot of effort and a lot of my own time into this, and I think it's a very valuable tool. And yeah, so with there you can choose for a monthly subscription, which you can cancel any month, or for an annual subscription where you pay a considerably lower amount, 38% less for a whole year. And both the monthly and annual subscription, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you subscribe and after 20 days you say, sorry, I don't like it, then you can email me and you will get the money back. And I'll ask you to maybe give me some feedback on why you didn't like it, what you think should be improved, and so on. Now, what can you do on the free version? What can you do on the premium version? So as I showed previously, on the free version, not all lessons are accessible. The first 3 chapters, they are free, and for all the other chapters, to continue studying through the other chapters, you would need to subscribe. On the free version, you can translate up to 50 words per month and create 50 flashcards per month. What that means is when you read something, so if we go back to the library here, when I read an article, when I click on a word, like now it has translated this word, abwechslungsreich, varied. And on the free version, you can translate 50 times in a month, 50 words. This is also a bit because, you know, we use some translation tools here, and they charge us money also based on how many times someone clicks here. And if there's a bot that clicks like 1,000 times, and then at the end of the month I get a huge bill. So of course I try to avoid that, and that's also one reason why on the free plan there is a limit on how many words you can translate. So now during this video I've probably translated 10 words or so, and the same is for flashcards. So once you reach the limit, when you then click on a word, it'll tell you, sorry, you've reached the limit of 50 words a month, and you need to wait until the next month. If we go back to subscription, so with the subscription you have unlimited word translation, unlimited flashcard creation, and also unlimited personal article uploads. Yeah, that's something I haven't actually talked about yet. When you go to the library, so there are 600 articles here, as I said. Now, if you want, you can also, if you have an article that you found somewhere online and you really want to read that and you want to memorize, you want the app to learn which words you know from that article, and you want to click on the words to translate them, you can upload that article into the library, and you can do that with this button here, import. And here you basically just add the text. So if you took it from a website, you would probably paste it here. You wouldn't type it, but yeah, I'm just typing it now, and you add a title. You can choose a category, what category this fits into. Maybe it's fiction, and is this level A2, and so on. You can add an image, you don't have to. And you can choose whether you want to make the article if you want to make the article public or private. What that means is if you make it private, it'll only appear in your own library, and nobody else can see it. It's only for yourself, for your own learning. You can also choose to make the article public, which would be a very nice thing to do, because then you share this article with other people, and that's especially nice if you think this article is very useful for learning the language. Then by making it public, you would share it, and other people can also learn the language in that way. If you choose to make it public, then when you do that, I will get a notification saying that somebody wants to make an article public, and I would need to approve that, because of course I try to make sure that people don't upload things that are under copyright, or that are, you know, there's any kind of risks like people write stuff with political hatred or whatever. So I try to have a bit of a filter there. So let's assume you do it public, add article. And now it says here that every article that is uploaded and made public will be reviewed by the LinguaMerse team, which is me. But in the meantime, until it is approved, you can still see it in your private library. So if we go to library, on the top left here, you see all and private here. And I just uploaded this article here, which only has one word. It's just for testing. So you can read this article here. And it's a word that unknown. Oh, because I turned this off. Unknown, yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all you can do on LinguaMerse as of now, as of beginning of 2025. I'm currently started working on adding a lot of improvements to the app. I want to improve, as I said, how the flashcards work. I also thought of adding a third type of practice here, which is more of a quiz kind of questions. I want to add a forum here where people can discuss things, where people can bring new ideas or questions and so on in a much more efficient way. And I plan to make French and Spanish available, and also Russian. Those three languages, I'm not sure when that will happen, that they will become available. That might be in the second half of 2025, but that's the plan. I would say that's pretty much it. I hope that you found this video very useful, very helpful. If you have any question, feel free to email me. And thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. I will also put in the video description a coupon code that you can use to get a discount for subscribing to the premium subscription. I think I'm gonna make it a 75% discount to thank you for taking your time to watch this video. So I'll put that coupon code in the video this description. Thanks a lot. I hope that LinguaMerse will be a great tool for you for learning German, and in the future when I add French, Spanish and so on, I hope it'll be a great tool for you to learn other languages. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day. Bye bye.